Good morning, everyone. It's so nice to be able to post one of these videos again, the first of 2024, the first of the new year. I've been waiting. I said when I started doing these videos, I never wanted to do anything forced. I wanted to do it because I was inspired to make it. So I'm sorry if, you've been looking forward to these and I never wanted to be forced. I wanted to be authentic with you guys and share something. And this past week, I had an experience where I was talking to a former student of mine, and I realized that, we might, there's so much information now. So much information. Our access to information is unlike any other period of time, right? Our phones can lock us into a world that is thousands of miles away, or into books from thousands of years ago. It's amazing. But there needs to be wisdom and care taken with that. And especially as it comes to, in the context of young people choosing a career. There's so much that we try to diversify and say, oh, try this, do that, and this. And it ends up creating so much confusion that I find that a lot of youngsters are choosing their careers based on that. Based on confusion, not conviction. They know what their love, their passion is. Many of them do. And yet they would go ahead and choose to go for something very run-of-the-mill, something that they're not particularly passionate about. This student I was talking to is an extraordinarily talented artist. I remember that in class, I would be lecturing about the brain and its anatomy, and they would draw it. When I need a PowerPoint picture to show this person had the ability to draw with not just anatomical detail and accuracy, but beauty. And when I was talking to this person about their careers and their future as they're getting ready to graduate, they're telling me about, I think I'm going to be a medical technologist. I think I'm going to do that. I said, oh, why? Why? Why are you doing that? What is the purpose? What's the purpose of you becoming an engineer, a lawyer, a doctor, a nurse? Any of these professions if you don't have conviction about it. And one of the things that we do best as a human species is that we can create conviction. We can create false conviction. We can convince ourselves that we have conviction for these things. And this student confessed to me. I said, why aren't you exploring this avenue of yourself? And they said, because it's scary. It's scary to not know. It's scary to be in a family situation that requires certain things of you. It's scary to be in uncertain waters at this time of my life. And I agree. I leveled with them. I said, yes, it is unbelievably scary. Unbelievably scary. When I picked up here to move to Sweden, it was scary. But I phrased it like this to them. I said, would you rather be in uncertain waters now, where you don't have a family, you don't have kids yet, and you're figuring it out? you're young enough, 21, 22 years old, where you can figure it out. You don't have to be that grown. You don't have to be that stage yet. Young people put so much pressure on themselves to have it all figured out right now. And as elders, as older people, it's our job to make sure they have the guidance, I think. Because now they sort of need it more than ever. And not to tell them what to do. I didn't tell this student what to do. I said being a technologist is a waste of that artistic talent. I'm not saying, I said you could be successful at it. Don't get me wrong. You could be successful at it. You would be successful at it. It's not a question of ability. It's a question of passion. It's a question of love for it. And that's what I want for students, for everyone. Everyone. Do what you love, not what you like. Don't be in like with it. Be in love with it. Be convicted about it. Because if you become, say, a physician, a doctor, then you reach your late 30s, and then you realize, this ain't for me. I am miserable. I am miserable. Those waters are much rougher than being uncertain at 21 of what you can do. There is so much more possibility, so much more flexibility in what you're able to do at that stage in your life, at a younger stage in your life, than a middle-aged stage of life. Is very difficult. Don't set yourself up for misery just because it's uncertain now and everyone seems to be going in this way. The student told me that. They said, I realized being a physician might not be for me. I said, cool. What about research? I don't like research either. And I said, you know what? Of all the students I've had, you're the first one to have the maturity and the strength, the courage to say that to me. I see it in others. But I can't force them to make a realization they're not ready for. They got to go through their journey. Because I could tell them, hey, this ain't, it'll just cause more. They're not ready for that yet. But I said, feel the confidence that you are ready for this. Because that student only needs one thing. Belief. Belief in themselves. Belief in that they can figure it out. That they have a support system around them that will be there for them. Not that they'd use it. Just it's around. It's around. From us as parents, as uncles, as aunts, as, elder brothers and sisters even, our role, as I'm finding out, is not to force people down a path and say, oh, this is for you, this ain't for you, and I'm going to make all the decisions in your life for you. No. But it's to level with them what they're going through now, because what young people are going through now is in no time in history been like this. As rich as it can be now, it is equally confusing. And we've got a generation of future leaders that I refuse to leave confused. I'm doing my part. But I can't do it all. It's impossible. But if we all do our part as best we can, do our part to support our families, our friends, our loved ones, to find conviction of what they want to do. Volunteer work, this, that. It can be whatever it is. Let them find the conviction within themselves. Let them explore it. And I think we're going to have a better world for it. I think we really will. You know, I'm reminded that this is the philosophy of so many great individuals who have said these words or something like it. Our outside world is a reflection of our inner state of mind, our inner state of being. Everything that we see wrong with the world, the wars, the politics, it's a reflection of us. And if we see all that and then don't take a long look in the mirror, it's never going to fix itself. I love being here in Sweden because it forces me to take a long look at me. My good habits, my not so good habits, what I can live with, and recently, what I find my foundation to be. There ain't no place I've ever been, I don't think. I don't think I've ever been any place where I didn't face bullies. And here in Sweden, no different. No different. People jealous, people this, people that. Is no problem to me. Why? I find myself going back to how I was raised. The morals, the values, the principles, the spiritual upbringing I grew up with. From parents, from teachers, from siblings, from everybody. I go back to that. I go back to that. And if that is okay with me, that's the question I had. It was brought up to me that, you know, people were talking bad things, not so good things, about me. And they said, well, people talk and that's important to pay attention, and that's, then that can influence things and all sorts of things. And it's worth, people are talking about you and it's worth paying attention to. I stopped that person right there. I said, if I listened to what people say, I would not be here. If I listened to what gossip and what people would say about me and so on behind my back and all that stuff throughout my life, I would not be here. I learned at a young age to shut that out. I don't care what nobody says. I like working as part of a team. I like to lead teams, create unity, and then co-create something with that team. Build something that nobody ever could have conceived with, including me. Including me. Come up with something beautiful and new. That's why I work in science. That's what I do what I do. It's the best way I know to utilize the gifts I've been blessed with, my passion, my conviction, and build something of it. Nobody can talk me out of that. And eventually, when you grow to a certain point, you got to start having conviction with how you choose to live. Because that's what I said. How much of it is your ego taking offense to something, right? because I can be very fragile and stuff at times. But I go back to that inside. How was I raised? Is what I'm feeling right now because my fragile ego is offended? Or is it the morals and values I grew up with that I'm standing up for in a respectful way? That's to me more important to build than any career. We empower our youngsters to start building that. That's irreplaceable. That is irreplaceable. Because there's no class to teach that. There's no school for that. There's home. There's good people. There is kindness and love in this world to teach that. And I heard this just this morning. If I didn't experience hate, I wouldn't know what love is. If I didn't experience love, I wouldn't know what hate is. Our world works that way. Light and dark, up and down. It has this two-sidedness to it. I'm trying to do my best to embrace both. And I embrace both by being grounded and trying every day to show up and be grounded in my inner self and what that means to me. I think we can all do a better job of that. And I hope on this beautiful Saturday, we can make the most of it together. Thank you for sharing this time with me. And I hope I see you real soon. Stay blessed.